We all use spreadsheets, and a lot of the time we think of them as just, well, digital filing cabinets, right? A place to store data. But their real power, the thing that makes them so amazing, isn't about storing information, it's about creating new information. And today, we're going to unlock that magic by writing your very first formula. So let's start with a situation I'm sure you've run into. You've got this great table, all your data's organized, but something's missing. You have all the ingredients, but you don't have the final dish. Take a look at this. This is our challenge. We've got a list of athletes, we have their height, we have their weight. But that BMI column, it's just a bunch of question marks. Now, sure, you could get out your phone's calculator and do the math for athlete A, then do it again for B and again for C. But what if this list had 500 athletes or 5,000? Doing that by hand is not just slow, it's pretty much guaranteed you're going to make a mistake somewhere. There has to be a better way. And you know what? There is. The solution is baked right into Excel itself. It's called a formula. This is the moment your spreadsheet stops being a static grid and becomes this brilliant dynamic calculator that does all the heavy lifting for you. Now, this might sound a little backward, but trust me on this. The best, fastest, and most powerful way to learn formulas is to just type them in yourself, manually. Yeah, there are buttons and wizards that can help, but when you build it from scratch, you get total control, and you really start to understand how your spreadsheet thinks. That's the skill we're building right now. So, what even is a formula? At its core, it's just an instruction that tells Excel to calculate something. But the single most important part, the golden rule, is that little symbol right there, the equals sign. That's you tapping Excel on the shoulder and saying, hey, listen up, get ready to do some math for me. Okay, you ready? Let's do this. We're going to build our BMI formula together, piece by piece. We're going to translate the logic of the calculation into a language that Excel can understand perfectly. First things first, you click on the cell where you want the answer to show up and you type an equal sign. This is the one rule you can never, ever break. Every single formula you will ever write in your life starts right here. Okay, so the BMI formula is the weight divided by the height squared. So after our equal sign, we need the weight. Now here comes the magic. Instead of typing the number 75, we're just going to click on the cell that has the weight in it. Or you can just type its address, E2. This is so important. We're not telling Excel the number. We're telling it where to go find the number. That's what makes the formula flexible. Next up, we need to divide. In the world of Excel and spreadsheets, the / is our symbol for division. So we just pop that in right after E2. See? Simple. All right, now for the height. The BMI formula needs height in meters, but our table has it in centimeters. No problem. We can do the conversion right here in the formula. We'll grab the height from cell D2 and just divide it by 100. But notice those parentheses? They are super important. They tell Excel, hey, do this little piece of math, the conversion, first before you do anything else. The last bit of math we need is to square the height. And to do that, we use this little symbol, the caret. It kind of looks like a little hat, right? Well, that's Excel's operator for exponents. So adding caret 2 just means to the power of 2, or in other words, squared. And now, for the grand finale, all that's left to do is press Enter. And instantly, Excel zips through our instructions. It grabs the weight from E2, it grabs the height from D2, does all the math we told it to, and boom, there's our answer, calculated perfectly. Okay, let's just pause for a second, because we just used the single most important concept in all of spreadsheets. We didn't use the actual numbers 75 or 180 in our formula. We used their addresses, E2 and D2. Let's quickly break down why that is such a game changer. This is what's called a cell address, or a cell reference. Every single little box on that giant grid has its own unique name. It's how Excel knows exactly where to look for the information you're telling it to use. And the logic couldn't be simpler. It's like a map, or maybe the game Battleship. You find the column letter up at the top, you find the row number on the side, and you just put them together. So column C and row 12 gives you cell C12. It's the unique address for every single piece of your data. So there we have it. We built a formula and we understand the language it speaks. But what does that actually get us? Well, it gives us the power to turn all that raw data into actual meaningful answers and to do it instantly. And this right here is the payoff. Because we used cell addresses instead of hard-coded numbers, we can now just grab that little corner of our first formula and drag it all the way down the column. Excel is smart. It knows to automatically update the addresses for each new row. And just like that, in a matter of seconds, we've solved the problem for every single athlete on our list. So I really want you to get this. What you just learned isn't some little trick. It is the absolute foundation of making spreadsheets do your work for you. It's the difference between using Excel as a glorified notebook and using it as the powerful analytical tool it was designed to be. Think about it. You now have the fundamental skill you need to analyze a budget, track your project's progress, calculate sales commissions, you name it. The logic we just used is exactly the same. So the only real question left is, what are you going to calculate next?